The bill's Republican critics include South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. He said in a statement, if this proposal were to become law, it would be devastating to our state's economy, which relies on this immigrant workforce. The president endorsed the plan while Senate Republicans are struggling with other items like health care and tax reform.
Graham's South Carolina colleague, Republican Senator Tim Scott, is with us now from Capitol Hill. He is a member of the Senate Finance Committee and the Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. Senator Scott, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be with you all this morning.
Lay out what your problem is with this proposal.
Well, at the end of the day, the reality of it is that our competitors, other countries, use a merit-based system, so that's not a bad idea. It's actually a good idea. The reality of it is, however, that the greatest subunit in our country is the family. So having family cohesion is important. I think the problems within our legal immigration system isn't the number. So if there's needs for reforms, we should reform the systems that need to be reformed, but the reality of it is that it has less to do with the number and more to do with reforms. In South Carolina, there are a lot of jobs that go unfilled because we can't find the workers to do those jobs.
How would you reform immigration?
Well, I think there's a need for a hybrid system. If you look at where we have the largest holes in our economy, our STEM is a major part of it, that science, technology, engineering, math. We need more workers in that space there. Also, our agriculture. If you visit a farm in South Carolina, you'll find that they are desperate for workers. So we need a hybrid system that matches our economy with the labor that's coming in from other countries. And at the same time, my sister-in-law is a great example of someone who immigrated from Korea, helped create my nephew, who I call the heir to the Scott throne. I want to make sure that folks have an opportunity to assimilate to what it means to be an American. And so what we should look for are hybrids where we meet our economic needs and at the same time allow for family cohesion to be what it always has been, which is the anchor of the American society.
Well, agriculture and tourism are both industries that are important to your home state, and I think that's what you're talking about being impacted. But when you're talking about putting a preference towards skilled workers, this is something that Canada and Australia have implemented. Is there a way to get at that idea without cutting the number of green cards in half?
Yeah, the number is a whole different subject that I am not on the same page. Having a merit-based system so that we have the workers necessary to grow our economy is an absolute necessity. It's essential. We can do both. You can have a system that rewards merit-based in the areas where we need it and at the same time allows for family cohesion to continue. And I'm a big proponent for us to sit down at the table, figure out which way is up, because right now we have a lot of issues that we haven't figured that out on. And if we can figure that out, head in that direction. So for me, up is more workers who meet the high demands that we have within our economy, whether that high demand is STEM engineering jobs or whether that high demand is in agriculture or tourism in my state. We need to match the folks coming into the country with the jobs that we need, and we certainly should have a merit-based system, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with making sure that we create access for family members who are already here, as long as we do it right. And that's the legal immigration system has not been the focus, nor has it been the problem for us for the last several years.
Senator, you're heading home on August recess. What are you going to tell your constituents about plans for tax reform? We haven't seen specifics yet.
Well, there's a lot of conversation. I've been a part of conversations with the White House, with the House of Representatives, and certainly on the Finance Committee. The one thing that all three of us have in common is the need for us to lower taxes for the average worker. The truth is that while the stock market is hitting new highs, it seems every day, the average worker has not seen an increase in their pay. One of the ways that we get increases in their take-home money is not to take it out of their paychecks. That's what tax cuts should focus on, are those folks in the middle income brackets that haven't seen a raise in almost a decade.
What is a failure to get a health care reform to replace Obamacare say about the Republican Party?
Charlie, it says that health care is a very difficult conversation, and it's hard to get 52 votes. It's hard to get 52 members on the same page, and frankly, we lost one more than we could afford. We were at 49 instead of 50. That was a big deal for us, and frankly, it's a big deal for the nation, a huge deal for health care. The reality of it is that we have to find a way Obamacare is imploding. We have to find a way to fix it. And the next conversation will start with the individual market where the pain is the most, because the market is small, only about 20 million Americans in that market. About 1.5 million of those Americans have complex, serious diseases that will need some type of reinsurance or health care.
One quick follow-up. Is it
sir.
likely to take place after the midterm elections or before?
Absolutely before. As a matter of fact, in South Carolina, we're looking at a 33% rate increase this year on top of 120% rate increases over the last 4 years. We can't wait for another election cycle for us to start fixing the problems that are really causing so many Americans pain, suffering, and a loss of their paychecks.
Senator Scott, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.